Vegan baking. It is so much easier than most people think. We think of baked goods as being these unbelievably buttery, rich, delicious cakes and muffins and cookies and all this stuff. And we don't understand how it's possible to replicate those animal-based products with plant-based products. I'll just go through it very quickly so that you can maybe look at replacing some of the animal-based products in your favorite recipes, or take any recipe that you find and just make it healthier for you and your family. We all know that baked goods need some sort of a binder to hold them together, and usually that is an egg. But there's lots of vegan alternatives to an egg that you can use that generally are a little bit healthier. I'll start with the egg replacer. And egg replacer is pretty much just a potato starch with some other starches mixed in. You can replace one egg with just a little bit of this powder mixed with water and scale up from there. Now, this is not organic, and there's really not a lot of health benefits to this at all, but another great egg replacer that you can get organic, and generally most people have on hand as well, is bananas. Bananas work great. You'd want to use ripe bananas, mash them up, and put them in your recipe. Something that you do want to keep in mind with bananas is they're going to instill anything that you bake with them with a banana flavor. So if you're making banana nut bread, muffins that you don't mind tasting like bananas, this is a great alternative for you. Another great alternative for egg replacing is either using a flax or a chia seed powder. This is really great because this is so packed with great fats. Omega-3s are in here. It's a really healthy way to replace an egg while putting in really, really good fats in there. And it has a little bit more of a chewier consistency to it, but it's delicious, and it does a fabulous job at binding your baked goods. Next thing that you know that you need to replace for baked goods is milk. And that's pretty simple. There are a wide array of vegan milk out there. Almond milk is my favorite. I get the vanilla flavored unsweetened almond milk. You can get it organic. It's just 1-for-1 in your recipe for regular cow's milk. You can get soy milk, hemp milk, rice milk, hazelnut milk. A lot of people buy the milk corresponding with what it is that they're baking. I find that almond milk just does a great job for all around baking in general. The other great thing about vegan milks is that you can buy them in boxes that stay great on your shelves. You can just keep them in your pantry for months. So you don't actually have to run out to the store to get milk to do any sort of baking. You also know that with baking, you need some sort of oil or a fat. Now what this does is this helps bind it like the egg does, but it also helps give it moisture. There's a few different alternatives to that. Now my normal go-to for that is coconut oil. You can get it organic, you can get it refined or unrefined. Now, the unrefined is going to taste like coconut. So if you have foods that you don't want tasting like coconut, then obviously you'll want to get the refined, or you can use one of the other butter oil replacements that there are available. It is solid at room temperature. So you want to melt it in order to mix it in with your other liquids, but be very wary about that when you're mixing it in with cold milk. If your milk is cold, then you might want to warm up the milk, because it could make the coconut oil turn into a solid before it gets well mixed in with the liquid ingredients in your baking recipe. Another alternative to an oil or a butter is Earth Balance vegan butter. This is a great butter. You treat it just like normal butter. Now, something to keep in mind with the butters, you kind of need to decide what it is that you're baking and the kind of flavor that you're wanting to get out of your baked good. If you want that rich, buttery taste, then this would be a great choice for you, because it really does just taste and act identical to butter. Another way to get rich and buttery would be from the coconut oil. That definitely instills that richness that a lot of people look for in baked goods. If you are looking for something that is more healthy, that has less fat, but you're also getting that moisture added in. Applesauce is a great alternative. It does such an amazing job at not only binding, but keeping the moisture in the muffins and the breads that I make. So that's another great alternative if you're looking for something that is lower in fat. Sugar, sometimes people are wary of because the processing of cane sugar can be done with bone chard. You can look for vegan sugar, or other alternatives would be agave. There's coconut sugar out there, stevia, but a lot of people aren't really fond of the aftertaste that gives you. It depends on what you're baking with that. But there are other alternatives to sugar that you can find if you are scared of them using the bone chard in the processing. But other than that, you should be armed now to take any recipe and make it vegan very, very easily, very inexpensively, and then at the same time, most of this stuff has an incredible shelf life. So you can honestly have a complete arsenal of baking ingredients in your pantry for use whenever you want, and come up with some incredible recipes or alter recipes that are not vegan to be vegan and use these ingredients. If I can answer any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below, and if you like these kind of videos, please feel free to subscribe. And thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. Be well.